Welcome to Coin Explorer. Stop scrolling for a moment and look closely at this 1942 United States 1 cent. It may seem an ordinary penny, slightly worn, darkened by time, and easy to ignore. But what if I told you that under very specific and documented circumstances, a coin from this same year once reached an auction result of $902,000? That number immediately changes how you see this small piece of copper. Today, we are not chasing hype or unrealistic promises. We are carefully breaking down the real story behind the 1942 Lincoln cent, the history around it, the factors that matter, and why a tiny fraction of these coins can command serious collector attention. Stay with me until the end because every layer builds toward understanding how something common can, in rare cases, become extraordinary. Let's begin with the front of the coin. The obverse features the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above his head, you see the words, "In God We Trust." To the left appears "Liberty," and to the right, the date 1942. This design had already been in circulation for more than 30 decades by the time this coin was struck. It was familiar, trusted, and widely recognized across the country. Yet familiarity does not mean insignificance. The clarity of Lincoln's profile, the spacing of the lettering, and the sharpness of the strike all play a role in determining desirability. Collectors look closely at these details because even small differences can matter. Now turn the coin over to the reverse. You will see the classic wheat design with two wheat stalks curving along the sides. In the center, the bold words 1 cent stand out clearly with United States of America just below. At the top, the Latin phrase e pluribus unum completes the design. This wheat reverse was used from 1909 to 1958, making it one of the most iconic coin designs in American history. The wheat lines, the texture of the fields, and the overall balance of the layout are key features collectors examine. The sharper these details remain after decades, the stronger the coin's appeal. The year 1942 is historically significant. The United States had entered World War II, and the entire nation was shifting toward wartime production. Industries changed priorities, materials were evaluated carefully, and resources were conserved. In 1942, pennies were still struck in bronze, composed mostly of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. However, this would change the following year when the mint switched to steel cents in 1943 to conserve copper for the war effort. That places 1942 at the edge of a major transition in American coinage. It represents the final full year of traditional bronze cents before that dramatic shift. Millions of 1942 pennies were produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver carry a small D mint mark, while those from San Francisco display an S. Philadelphia coins from that year typically have no mint mark. Although the total mintage numbers were high, condition is what separates the ordinary from the exceptional. Most 1942 pennies you encounter today will show moderate to heavy circulation wear. The highest points, such as Lincoln's cheek and jawline, often appear smooth from decades of handling. Wheat lines on the reverse may also fade with time. This is where grading becomes essential. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on strict standards. They examine luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. A coin that has never entered circulation may still display original mint luster, a subtle shine that moves across the surface under light. These uncirculated examples are far scarcer than circulated ones. As the grade climbs higher, the population of surviving coins becomes smaller. At the very top levels, only a tiny number may exist in certified holders. That scarcity is one of the driving forces behind premium auction results. In addition to condition, certain varieties and mint errors from 1942 have attracted serious attention. Some involve double die features, while others relate to unusual striking characteristics. Identifying these requires magnification and expertise. Not every 1942 penny is rare, and not every small irregularity is valuable. Authentication is critical. Established third-party grading companies verify whether a coin is genuine and confirm any recognized variety. Without this step, assumptions can lead to costly mistakes. The numismatic market relies heavily on documentation and certification. Now let's address the headline figure that captures curiosity. Under specific, verified conditions, an extraordinary 1942 Lincoln cent once realized $902,000 at auction. This result was tied to a rare, authenticated example that combined unusual characteristics with exceptional preservation. It was not an average coin found in everyday change. It represented the intersection of rarity, condition, historical interest, and intense bidder competition. Auction houses publish official records, and such results are documented within the numismatic community. These outcomes reflect the upper extreme of the market, not the standard value of the date. Why would collectors compete so aggressively for a single penny? The answer lies in supply and demand. When only a handful of top-tier examples exist and multiple advanced collectors desire the finest known specimen, bidding can escalate rapidly. Each participant understands the rarity and may view the coin as a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Population reports published by grading services show how many coins have reached specific grades. If only one or two examples sit at the very highest level, competition intensifies. In that environment, prices can rise far beyond ordinary expectations. However, it is important to remain grounded. The vast majority of 1942 pennies remain modestly valued collectibles. A circulated example typically carries historical interest more than high monetary worth. Even many uncirculated coins do not approach dramatic auction levels. The $902,000 auction result represents a rare convergence of factors. Condition, authenticity, and market timing must align perfectly. Without those elements, a coin will not achieve such numbers. Understanding this distinction protects collectors from unrealistic expectations and encourages informed decision-making. If you have a 1942 penny, start by observing it under good lighting. Look closely at Lincoln's hair details, the clarity of the date, and the wheat lines on the reverse. Check for a mint mark below the date area. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can permanently reduce collector appeal. Even gentle polishing can remove original surface characteristics that graders value highly. If you believe your coin has unusual features or appears exceptionally well preserved, consider consulting a reputable dealer or submitting it to a recognized grading service for evaluation. Beyond market value, there is something powerful about holding a coin from 1942. It circulated during a pivotal era in world history. It may have passed through the hands of workers, soldiers, families, and shopkeepers during wartime America. Every mark tells a story of use and survival. Coins are small time capsules. They connect us directly to the economic and cultural life of the past. For many collectors, that historical connection is just as meaningful as financial value. The story behind the coin often matters as much as the price it might bring. The 1942 United States 1 cent also reminds us that rarity is often hidden in plain sight. Most examples are common, yet a tiny fraction stand apart due to extraordinary preservation or rare characteristics. This contrast is what keeps collectors searching. It encourages careful observation and ongoing education. The difference between ordinary and exceptional can be subtle, sometimes visible only under magnification. Knowledge is the most valuable tool a collector can have. The more you learn about grading, mint history, and documented varieties, the more confidently you can evaluate what you see. As you continue your coin journey, remember that research is essential. Compare your coin to certified examples online. Study auction archives to understand how top specimens differ from average ones. Notice the sharpness of details and the brightness of original luster in high-grade pieces. Over time, your eye becomes trained to recognize quality. Patience is key. Collecting is not about quick gains, it's about informed appreciation. The remarkable $902,000 auction result serves as an example of what can happen when rarity, condition, and demand converge at the highest level. In the end, the 1942 United States 1 cent is more than a small copper coin. It's a piece of wartime history, a study in design, and a lesson in how markets respond to scarcity. So the next time you see a 1942 penny, don't dismiss it too quickly. Examine it carefully, learn its story, and appreciate the history it carries. Thank you for watching. If you found this exploration valuable, continue learning, keep observing, and stay curious about the coins in your hands. You never know what details might be waiting to be discovered.